It's a clash between two fundamentally opposed ideas of morality and philosophy.
Yeah.
I don't... I disparage the idea of addiction because I believe fundamentally that we have free will and choice in what we do. This is not an argument which you can settle. And other people prefer to believe that we don't have choice and free will and that our actions are determined by forces we can't control. That is a huge argument.
It is.
Well worth having. And that's what it was.
Right. But is it also not right to say that it may not be one or the other, that it could be somewhere in between? This was a conversation I was having earlier on today because, you know, there are certain things that you can become physically addicted to, I believe. For example, nicotine is a very addictive substance. It's not to say that you can't stop smoking.
The problem
is there not evidence to suggest that there are possibilities that you can become addicted to certain things?
I have written in a magazine, American magazine called First Things, a long article called The Myth of Addiction, which I recommend everybody who wants to go through this. And also I had a clash with somebody who calls himself Citizen Sane on the internet some time ago and persuaded him. The problem with addiction is it's a shapeshifter. The people who use the word sometimes use it to mean a total, unbreakable power which has people utterly in its grip.
Yeah.
And then the same people in different conversations will use the word to mean actually something you can resist. It cannot be both. And the legal system and the medical system increasingly treat people, particularly the users of certain drugs, as if they have no free will, as if they have a disease they can't control. I think that's actually rather insulting to people who do have diseases such as cancer, which they would gladly give up if they were able to do. And I also think it doesn't help the people who are taking those drugs. If they're told you're in the grip of an irresistible force, they're not going to stop. You mentioned nicotine. Now, I agree with you. It's an incredibly compulsive habit, and those who take up smoking cigarettes find it very, very hard to give up. But in my generation, I have found huge numbers of people doing so. So
well, I'm one of them.
If there is
I'm one of them, which is why I say it. I mean,
there's a thing called addiction, and it can also be overcome. And it doesn't mean what most people mean when they use it. This is the problem with it. It is, as I say, it's a moral and a philosophical problem, which people get very angry about for that reason. You're taking sides. How much power do we have over what we do is really what it's about. How much choice and freedom do we have to decide whether to be good or bad, to do wrong or do right? I say an immense amount of choice.
And interesting.
Other people say less, and that is the huge difference.
Well, I thought what was interesting was what Jeremy Paxman actually interjected in. I know that's probably just a short clip of the entire conversation, but when he said to Matthew Perry, well, surely you are practicing willpower right now by not having a drink, because otherwise you'd be drinking all the time.
Well, there is an answer to this. The pro-addiction people say, well, yes, what he has done is he's overcome the effect of the addiction, but he is still, in fact, addicted.
Yes.
Which is, again, it's a rather philosophical point, but it is what they say.
Right.
But sure, and that is where it goes. That is why the use that people make most of the time in conversation, and a lot of the time, as I say, when people are dealing with cases in court or when doctors are dealing with people who are habitual users of drugs, is to use it as an overpowering force. And in the article in First Things, I quote some interesting people, including Russell Brand, on this overpowering force argument.
Yes.
And the point about it is you cannot say that and then accept that people can stop doing it. And it just doesn't work. And I'm surprised that more people don't resist it.
I used to know...
It doesn't help the drug taker.
No.
It doesn't help the smoker, in my view.